On September 11, 2001, Lachlan Hughson was living in New York City and worked for Bear Stearns. Following the aftermath of this tragic event, his organization notified him that they were laying off his whole group. However, he was offered the opportunity to work elsewhere within the organization. During this podcast interview, Lachlan shares what led him down a new path and to embark on a walkabout in the Australian Outback.
And that decision came about in the fraction of an instant. And that the message that I was hearing was, it's time for you to go home. It's time for you to go back and connect with what you knew as a child, the energy you knew, the who you are as a human being and how you want to be in the world. And I knew from my time in New York that it's an incredibly draining occupation. Banking, investment banking takes a lot of energy. And it wasn't something I'd fully appreciated when I started. And so after 7 odd years of work, the chance to recharge, the chance to go back and really connect with what my time in New York, the lifestyle I had been living there, I didn't know it at the time, and it's only with hindsight, but it's so easy to fall into a destructive lifestyle, or at least one that isn't optimal or healthy for us. And so part of what I wanted to do during my travels was let my body detox, my mind and my body, my heart and my soul, just let them detox. And so from a physical perspective, keeping the nutrition really simple, really healthy, not seeing this as a culinary journey, but almost some sort of a very basic type of a journey that was focused more on healing in all 4 ways. And so that's why I kept my diet very simple and just drank lots and lots of water, hydrating, flushing toxins. That was really the nature of a lot of the experience. Really simple things. So one of the other things, or a term I came to really appreciate, which I use quite a lot, is I developed a new med. And so my med was meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. And so they were the meds that I really wanted to focus on taking the whole journey. And that was really that's probably the best way to answer your question. And so meditation became part of every day. And part of that was, yes, meditating, but also trying to be a lot more reflective of seeing different places, swimming in a gorge, walking up through the ranges, of just appreciating everything that was there for what it was and seeing the beauty in it as it was, rather than trying to have to reconfigure it to something that made a lot more sense. The best way we can start to heal ourselves outside what we need modern medicine for, and given how critical that is, but as you start out to reconnect with that more intrinsic part of yourself, connect more with nature, because in many ways that is going to be the conduit through which your vitality will come back, that will recharge your true self, will help you reconnect with who you wanted to be or who you were at 5 or 6 when you intrinsically knew yourself, that you then potentially lose as the egoic side of our being wants us to be successful and fit in and have a house and a car and keep up with the Joneses and all of the societal pressures that we all have to live within and decide how to live within. And I think ultimately coming back to a much more simple interpretation of meds, right? Meditating. Let your mind, open your mind to what it will tell you. Exercise, diet, sleep, the really simple ways of connecting with the earth and the energy of the earth. To me, that was the catalyst that helped me have a lot of really critical realizations that now play a much more significant part of my life today. And I feel it's also a really simple, elegant way to be able to reconnect with where we come from. And that's almost going home in a sense.
During this podcast interview, Leanne Elliott touches on the importance of balance and intuition.
Oh man, I am the queen of overdoing it. I I really want to do it well. I really love quality to my creativity and I want it to mean something. So that there for me is the balance. There is a balance between it having quality, but also it having a lot of heart. And so I think that one of the underlying principles for me that I've learned is that when I try and do something for the sake of doing it, it almost always leads to frustration and burnout. When I do something that's in alignment and feels like it is really in my soul's path, it comes with a really marked sense of ease.
You pay attention to things that bring you more ease. I mean, it's hard work, but it doesn't feel so effortful or,
Yeah.
where you are enjoying it. And you mentioned listening to your intuition, and that helps get in alignment. How do you listen to your intuition?
Um, I literally listen. I actually consult myself as though I am my own therapist, counselor, guide, because I am. We all are our own. And it's not that I didn't get help initially when I was learning to trust myself. I did get a lot of help from the outside. I'd go to women's circles. I was constantly listening to like, how do I meditate? And what I was tapping. I was going for long walks in the forest. And I was really tuning my ear to my own inner voice. And so intuition is a gift we all have. And so is logical thinking. It's a gift we all have. But we often reference and respect and give deference to our logical mind, our linear way of thinking first. And especially for women, that isn't actually how we're wired. We're actually wired to go internal and to have a space of being allowed to travel, if you will, into our internal being and listen there. And amazing things happen. That's where the magic is in the quiet. But we don't lead quiet lives and we're not in a quiet society. And so carving out that time can be challenging, but I think it is a key to finding that intuition. And it's already there. We're not learning anything new here. We're only remembering what we already know how to do.
Oh, so true. And great advice.